Hi, Austin. It's Miss McPaul, and I am here to tell you who the 4 winners of our book bracket tournament are for the first week. Last week, you voted on the 4 books that you thought looked the most interesting, and I'm ready to tell you which 4 books are moving on to this week's round. Our first competition was between Waiting on Mr. Sloth and Samson in the Snow. And the winner was, drumroll, Samson in the Snow with 195 votes. This one won by a pretty good amount. So Samson in the Snow is moving on to this week's competition. Our second competition was between Buffalo Fluffalo and Don't Blow Your Top. All right, who do you think won? This one was, I don't know, I think I heard a lot of kids interested in both of these books, but the winner was Buffalo Fluffalo. Buffalo Fluffalo had 204 votes. All right, so this one definitely won. So you'll see that one in this week's competition. Our third competition was If I Was a Horse and Dino Grow. All right, let's see. Who do you think could have won between these two? Let's see. The winner was Dino Grow, and Dino Grow had 201 votes. So that one won by quite a bit also. All right, and our last competition. This was the closest competition out of the 4, okay? It wasn't that close, but it was still the closest one. It was between Nerdycorn and Pluto Gets the Call. All right, I think I heard a bunch of kids interested in both of these books. All right, so who do you think won? All right, the winner was Pluto Gets the Call, and that one had 175 votes. Nerdycorn had 137, so that one was definitely the closest competition. All right, so last week, do you remember how we talked about how a lot of us, when we're picking out books, we judge books by the cover and we look at books that look interesting, and that's all right. Well, this week, we're going to talk about another way that we can kind of look at books and figure out if we think we'll like it or not. Because judging the book by the cover is not really the best way. There are lots of books that have really interesting covers, and you know what? You read them and they're just kind of like, it was all right. All right, so one way that we can look at books and really see if we're going to like it a little bit more is by opening it up and reading what's on that front of the book jacket. All right. On chapter books, a lot of the time, you'll see a summary on the back of the book, and that's what you can read too. So that is what we're going to be focusing on this week. We're going to look at the 4 books for this week, and we're going to read the inside of those book jackets, and we're going to look at which books sound like they'll be the most interesting. So our first competition for this week will be between Samson in the Snow and Buffalo Fluffalo. And it's interesting, y'all. Y'all might like these fluffy big animals because these books kind of seem a little bit similar. All right, so let's look at Samson in the Snow. All right, and it says, all around the world was different than before. Samson could hardly tell what was where and where was what. Every direction was white snow. Samson worried about the little red bird. I wonder if she is out there, he thought. I wonder if she is cold. As the sunny day turns cold, Samson must go looking for his friend. Little does he know he's about to meet 2 in this tender tale of kindness and unexpected friendship from the creator of Ideas Are All Around. All right, that's Samson in the Snow. Okay, let's look at the inside of Buffalo Fluffalo. All right, this one says, I'm the Buffalo Fluffalo. I heave and I huffalo. Leave me alone because I've had enough-a-lo. Buffalo Fluffalo tries to bluff and fluff his way into appearing bigger. The other prairie animals just want to be his friend, but Buffalo stomps around trying to look tough. And when he finally has enough-a-lo, he swaggers off to grumble to himself. Then a rain shower pours down on the fluffy buffalo, and there he stands, a drenched pipsqueak. The other animals, who could see through Buffalo's bluster from the start, circle around to comfort him. As the prairie dog says with a smile in her eyes, "You're great how you are, no matter your size." All right, there's Buffalo Fluffalo, and he's had enough-a-lo. All right, our second competition is between Dino Grow and Pluto Gets the Call. All right, here's Dino Grow. Cole is disappointed that his new dinosaur toy is so tiny. But when Dino Grow lands in a glass of water, something big starts to happen. Soon, Dino Grow is determined to grow as big as possible and finds water everywhere he goes. When Dino Grow grows too big to be indoors, Cole's parents insist that he live outside. But when Dino Grow gets caught in a rainstorm, it looks as though Cole will have to give up his friend. Is there anything Cole can do so that Dino Grow will be welcomed back home? All right, there's Dino Grow. And our last one is Pluto Gets the Call. Now this one doesn't tell us much on the inside of the book jacket, so you'll have to listen closely and see if it sounds interesting. Pluto loves being a planet. You can tell by that big heart on his belly. He's been called a planet since 1930, when he was discovered by a young astronomer in Flagstaff, Arizona. But then one day, Pluto gets a call. All right, here's Pluto Gets the Call. So you are going to be picking which two of those books you think sound the most interesting. And then next week, you're going to be voting on the winner of our book bracket tournament.